see a student from the school of Södra Latin. This is the palace of von der Linde, built in 1633. It was once the mansion of the Dutch-born merchant Erik Larsen, who made a fortune of trading with copper. After his death, the house was bought by Queen Christina to her bastard half-brother. The house was built by German craftsmen, and it has been reconstructed several times. As you can see, there is an oriel facing the square, and it's probably from the time of the construction of the building. This palace was probably the most magnificent house in Stockholm when it was new built. It's partly made of sandstone, and on the front of the house you can see a brick wall. On the portal, the gods Mercury and Neptune, the patrons of commerce, are carved in stone.
So, this is the Swedish Parliament building. It was built between the years of 1897 and 1905, and the architect's name is Aron Johansson. The house was originally built and is still used for the Swedish Parliament, but during a long time during the 20th century, also the Swedish Bank was in this building, and the style of the building is neo-barrage, which was very popular in this time. And the only thing that was important when you built this house, except that it would work for the parliament, is that it wouldn't overshadow the nearby located castle. In the 80s, the building was renovated and changed, and this is when the National Bank left the house. Our parliament building is a massive and impressive piece of architecture. There are state weapons, big stairs, a monumental entrance, and while in there, the only sound you can hear is the sound of the politicians hurrying up and down the corridors, quietly speaking about how to save the country.
So, here I'm standing at Järntorget in Old Town in central Stockholm, in front of this beautiful building that used to be the Swedish Central Bank. Probably the oldest bank building in the world, and it was constructed and designed by the Swedish architect Nicodemus Tessin in 1676. Since 1994, the National Property Board. Since 1994, the National Property Board has had its office. Since 1994, the National Property Board has had its head office in this beautiful building right here. Thank you. Over to you, Magda. Men vad fan!
So here I'm standing in central Stockholm in front of this beautiful building, Tessinska palatset. Tessinska palatset was built in between 1694 and 1700 by the well-known Swedish architect Nicodemus Tessin, and that is why the building is called Tessinska palatset. This palace is a part of the Swedish royal palace that is on the other side of the road. And since he was the one who constructed that mansion as well, he decided to make this place his private residence. And this is where he lived with his family until his death. So behind this beautiful palace, there's an equally beautiful garden, but the garden is very special and famous for being cut as a labyrinth. Unfortunately, we did not have this chance to look at this today, but I assure you it is beautiful. So in what way do you use this building today? Well, since 1968, this building has been the private residence of the governor of Stockholm. Thank you, come again.
This building was built for the bank Skandinaviska Kredit AB. Erik Josefsson was the architect for this building. He was famous for being the architect for several bank houses and the bridge to Djurgården in Stockholm. It was built between 1907 and 1912. As you can see, the building looks modern with 4-floor big glass windows with high columns in between. Compared to the other buildings and houses in this area, it has an older medieval outlook. The purpose for this house is now that it's a museum for living history with exhibitions. If you are in the old town, please go and have a look at it and see the different sides of the houses yourself.
Now we're going to go inside this fantastic, splendid building. Stay tuned. Now, this is a fantastic thing. You see, this line here, very authentic. And you see,